Hello. We are live. I want to see all the chat, please, YouTube. All right. So, continuing on with the page that we've been working on, this is chapter 25, page 18 of my webcomic Age of Night. I have it all drawn, and we started lettering last time, and now we're going to continue. And, where's my script? That might be helpful to have. That would be a good thing to have. Okay, I found it. That's good. It was not right at hand like it should have been. It was tucked away, so I just had to dig it out. But now I've got it, and I can start. So, once again, continuing the lettering, I'm going to figure everything out in pencil first. I've got my right triangle and my Ames lettering guide. We get that lined up with the side of the page here, these panels, so that we know that this side is going to be nice and straight. And then we're going to start using that bottom row of holes to make our lettering guidelines. The lines where I'm going to be writing words and the spaces in between. And then I'm going to try to figure out what goes in here. Hello, Hungry. Thanks for joining me at my not exactly normal time. Whoop. And there's another little word balloon down here I need to squeeze in. This is only going to be like 2 little words, so it can be down in the corner here. And on the next panel, whoops, it's easy for this triangle to kind of drift out of square, so it's good to like recheck it every time you move it and make sure that it is actually staying square. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna change that. This is why I do it in pencil first, because sometimes I decide that's not how I want this this word balloon to go. There we go. And the last panel. All right. This one says, there's like no good way to do that one. I guess it'll be 2 lines. I'll scoot them down a little. I try not to have words like on their own. They're called widows and orphans when you have just a single word by itself in a line, and whether it's like the first line or a middle line or the last line or a middle line is which one it is. I don't remember which one is which. But basically, you're not supposed to leave a word by itself, but sometimes it's unavoidable, or sometimes you just end up with 2 kind of long awkward lines because that's just how the words work out. That's not gonna work. All right, we gotta try again. All right. So now I have figured out all of where the lettering is going to go in pencil. And now I can start inking it with my Royal Talons India ink. And my school nib. Scoot this down and start doing this. And when we're lettering, we try to make each separate piece of each letter its own stroke. Whoops, to keep it nice and neat. A little more ink than that. So you do like each half of the letter O instead of trying to make a circle and ending up like catching on the page or dragging a weird puddle somewhere and making an ink splatter. That sort of thing. So I'm picking my pen up in between each of these shapes. And I will go back and touch up individual letters sometimes. If it's like, if there's like a little gap between some of the shapes or something looked a little wonky. Why did no ink get in my pen that time? Come on now. Come on now. Pens being uncooperative. Let's just cooperate. I'm going to kind of bold this word as being something important or otherwise emphasized. Concentrate on lettering and talk at the same time. But if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat and I will try to look up and answer them. Hand lettering is very, very meditative. So I just kind of like slip into the zone. What? What is that line? That's not the right letter. Whoops. That says stay. I'm going to have to clean that up later. There we go. I will have to go back and white out that random stray mark that's not the right letter, but we'll do that at the end. Usually do a cleanup pass at the very end because I will probably make other mistakes. Ooh, I'm not quite lined up with where my pencils are there, so I'm going to have to be careful to make sure this all fits on this line like it's supposed to. Ah, just made it. What is that? Oh, that is not a circle. That was squishy. All right, last panel of lettering. Making pretty good time here. What's with that weird lump in the letter L? What's going on there? That one didn't quite line up the way I wanted it to. Oh well. All right, there we go. There's all the letters. All the letters are on there. So now we have to start doing balloons. So I need to get my ellipse template. Whoop. And I will have my French curves on standby here in case I end up needing them. So I have a mechanical pencil again and my tech pen ready to go. So again, I'm going to start by figuring it out in pencil. Just got to figure it out first. Don't want to make any commitments first off. I just want to figure out what I'm doing. So that looks like a pretty good one. Obviously, when it's just one word like that, I could make this a rather tiny word balloon and still, like, it still fits. But I don't want to make it that tiny. Like, it's then it's like so tiny compared to the rest of the panel. So I'm gonna give it this size one. So it's not enormous, not enough that it looks silly and dwarf. Like if you put one like that big around it. Still looks kind of nice and balanced and proportional, but not as small as it could be. And let's see if my tech pen is going to cooperate. Looks like it is, hopefully, maybe. All right. And it's a short tail, so I'm just going to freehand it. There we go. This panel has like a lot of word balloons. What? Where's my pencil lid? It's gonna have to scoot over a little bit. That one's a little tight. Okay, so if I go with this one, which actually fits better, then it's like touching the top of her head, which I don't want. And if I go with the next size down, it's too small. So this is where I'm going to make one up and give it more of a squircle than an ellipse so that it's not clipping her head there. And this is a really like long one. That's still a little bit tight, so I'm actually going to use a smaller one for the ends and kind of piece together an oblong kind of one. Okay, so we'll definitely need the French curve for some of this business. Please don't drag your template through wet ink. Not a good plan. There we go. And we'll go with this French curve. Try to figure out the rest of it. This one that I just like totally made up. The only thing about using the tech pens rather than the felt tip pens that I've run into when doing word balloons is that they do take just a tiny bit longer to dry, and so you just have to be careful. Like, it's still only a few seconds, but you still need to just be careful to not drag your tool through wet ink, because that's bad. You don't want to do that. Hello, little bug friend. What are you doing? Getting a little messy. Where's the right one? There it is. Okay. Well, that side of that one didn't come out very well. There we go. And this side. There we go. Whoops. Yeah, I think I need the French curve for that tail. It's not cooperating for some reason. There we go. Next panel. This is another one that's like just kind of long. I'll have to do it like this. And then another small one down here. Oh, I just broke my pencil lid. Oh no. There we go. And tails. And I'm gonna finish this long one. All right, now this one over here. I would prefer, whenever it's like two speech balloons that one person is saying, I prefer to have them touching most of the time, unless I've broken one out in a different space. Like these are all basically one thought, just kind of broken up so that it's not one giant word balloon, and to also just kind of show like where the pauses in the speech pattern are. And then this is like separate thought, separated down a different part of the panel. But like here, same kind of thing. I want to try to keep these two speech balloons actually touching if I can, like overlapped, so that you can see that it's one contiguous thought that she is having. It's just kind of broken up by her speech pattern. I need to find the right ellipse that I just used. This is why I do this like each panel at a time, because otherwise I'd never find the ellipse that I used like back at the beginning of the page after I penciled all of them in. I'd be so confused. We'll go ahead and give that one a French curved tail. And a little tail. All right, last word balloons. We're almost done with the lettering, and then we can start inking. Hooray! All right. There we go. Oh, I smeared some ink up here. Tisk tisk. Told you I was going to make another mess somewhere on here that would need to be fixed. All right, give my Tech pen a quick pen cleaner dip before I cap it and put it away for until next time, until whenever the next time is that I use it. All right, now this stuff should be able to all get out of my way. And I should be able to just go back to Royal Talons ink. And my nib pen. And start working on backgrounds. I will eventually go back and erase these pencil guidelines, but if any of the ink from either the lettering or making the word balloons is even the tiniest bit wet still, which it might be, then me trying to erase those pencil lines will create a giant smudgy mess. So we're just not going to do that right now. It's just not a thing we're doing right now. We'll do it later, like sometime between now and next week, probably. So, starting with stuff. Stuff that needs to be done with the nib pen. I guess I don't have to do the firewood in the nib pen, but I like to. How are we on time? Yeah, it's 9:40. We've got about 20 minutes left. Usually do these streams for about an hour, because at the end of an hour, we should all get up and stretch and get a drink of water. I could use a drink of water. I got a tickle in my throat. I wonder if I inhaled one of these bugs. Blah, seriously. All right, and this is like, got this like vaguely, there's not really much in the way of a background going on here. It's misty, so you get like vague shaded areas with little like bits of stippling to give you the idea that mist is what's happening. And pretty much nothing else. Got our shrub in front here. I could have done this with brush, but I decided I wanted to do it with the pen. Little bug's trying to fly in my eye. Knock it off. Rude. Alright, yeah, the backgrounds are pretty simple on this. A lot of it is just like the mist dots. This one's got like some rocks and stuff. Not a lot. Hello! Thanks for joining. Alright, gonna add some just kind of light shading to this rock because everything is kind of obscured by the mist. It's not going to be quite as boldly defined as it would be if they were not being blanketed with mist. So that's like the whole point of this scene. They can't see where they're going. Oh, awesome. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. It might take me a second to look up and see them, but I'm always happy to answer questions. I've been working on this page over the course of several streams. This is the third one, and there will be probably one more. We'll do it next week. And I've got lots of older streams too. They're all archived on the channel here. Or I've done the same thing, like done a comic page beginning to end over the course of several streams. Oh my word. I think I swallowed a bug. Shrub up here. Again, not as bold as it would be if it were not all misty out, misty and foggy. Same thing with this rock back here. Kind of fading into the background. Some more just fog dots. Which, I mean, I'm hoping reads as it just being kind of foggy. I'm hoping that's how that reads and not just like, why are there specks on this page? It's supposed to be that kind of mist you get on top of mountains where it's just like you're inside a cloud. Everything is white because you're inside a cloud. You can't see anything. Everything is just this whitish gray color. You can see objects like maybe 5 feet away from you, and then everything is obscured. Which I think happens like 50% of the time that I try to climb a mountain. I'm like, oh, you got up to the top. It's cloudy. You're inside a cloud. You can't see anything. Cool. Same thing in this background. Dots. More dots. So the nib inking is not going to take very long on this page. So there's ink drop or smear. How do I fix it? So after I'm done with everything, because I will probably do that a few times throughout the course of a... Why is this so blown out? What's going on here? Did that help? Yeah, that helped. Okay. That'll probably happen a few times throughout the course of working on a page, is that at the very end, I go over everything with white gouache. So white gouache is a water-based medium. It's very easy to control, and it's also nice and opaque. So I just mix up a little bit of this with just a little bit of water. Comes in these little tubes. Mix up a little of this with a little bit of water and just kind of apply it with a small brush. And that's how I white out over stuff. And sometimes I might have to like white out a larger section than I necessarily want to completely get rid of and then wait for it to completely dry and then go back over it. And if you have like a catastrophic ink spill or smear or something, then sometimes you just have to like redo the whole panel and just like paste it on with a new piece of Bristol, which that's not usually what happens. Usually it's just a couple little smears here or there and you just use the gouache to cover it over. Some people use different types of paint or ink for that. I know a lot of people like the Dr. P.H. Martin stuff. I've never been a super fan of that one. I don't know why. I just never really liked it that much. But some people swear by it, so that's another option for correcting your mistakes after the fact. Let's see. We've got about... Yeah, it's basically like whiteout. You just have a lot more control over it, and it's got a very nice... the gouache, too, has a really nice, smooth consistency to it. It's not like gummy like whiteout is, so it's easy to draw back over top of if you need to. And it doesn't show up with like a weird texture when you scan it. We've got less than 10 minutes left, so I'm going to do the YouTube thingless real quick and remind you, I'm Amanda Call. This is my webcomic that I'm working on, Age of Night, which you can find at ageofnight.com. That's AGEOFNIGHT.com. I update every Wednesday, and you can read the whole thing online for free. If you want to help support me, then you can also always sponsor me on Patreon. I've got a Patreon at patreon.com/Age of Night, spelled the same as the comic. Patrons always get the next week's page a week early, so there's that. And if you enjoy any of these streams, then you should definitely like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm doing the live streams pretty much every Tuesday night, usually at 8 Eastern. I did it a little bit later this evening at 9 Eastern because I was on the road today and just got home fairly late. So let's see how much of this last panel I can get before we're out of time. And what else? You can follow me on Twitter at Age of Night and Instagram at Amanda Call Art. Yeah. I think those are the things. It's all the things I can think of at the moment. How's that? Except I said I am doing these like every Tuesday, except not next Tuesday. Most Tuesdays, next Tuesday is the first one I'll have to actually just completely skip in quite a while. Most Tuesdays. That's why you subscribe, so that you know when I'm going live. That's why you do that. All right, I think we're gonna be done with the nib inking at the end of this. Look at that. So I would say that was a very productive hour we had here. I started with the page was fully penciled, and I had only just barely started doing the lettering on the first two panels. I just had them like written in pencil. So over the course of this hour, I finished writing in all of the lettering in pencil, inked all of the lettering, did all of the word balloons, and now finished all of the nib inking. So next time, which is not next week, but the week after, which will be, 14 days from now, is August 24th. Will be the next stream, and we will finish up the inks. So thanks everybody for hanging out with me and asking questions. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Bye.